So today we are going to see other genies. So the quick find is one of the genies. Similar to that, we have n number of genies here, which will give you details of many other items. If you click on his summary, it will give you the list of all the employees with their like what labor account they have, what is their username, what is their who is their manager, what is their phone number, last totalization, blah blah blah. It's like an similarly like this we have n number of genies here, which will give different column details based on what genie we choose. This summary has name, labor account, username, email address, these personality data. If you go to maybe reconcile time card, this will give you name, like how much like hours the employee has worked. Since it's a test and prompt, we don't have anything. So the columns will differ for each genies. So if you go to maybe where is accruals? Maybe approved time cards. This again, it's another genie which will have all the employees and it will show you whether the time card has been approved by the manager or not. If it is approved, it will show one or tick mark here. Okay, and like whether he has any exception in his time card, whether he has any absence on this particular week, previous pay period. So these details will be available in this Genies. So Genies are like it will pull the employees with different views. Each Genie has a specific view. Approved time card is basically to see whose time card has been approved and whose time card has not been approved. If you go to sign off, this will again give you the same detail but an additional detail. So we know there are two types of approvals. Imad, do you remember? Like we have two types of approvals. One is approved time card, and the second level of time approval is sign off, which will log the time card. Like Imad, do you have a? Do you remember this? We saw it in our first session. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Abhi.
I don't see Imad in the call. Okay, he has pinged. He's stating that he can't hear. Give me 2 minutes. So, as I'm telling, I'm taking you through different genies here. Genies are nothing. It will give you all the employees data like how we saw in the quick find by searching an employee or searching all the employees, similar to quick find. So if you go to quick find, in this system, quick find gives you name, ID, and labor account. But there are other genies available. If you see, scroll down, there are n number of genies available here. Each genie has a specific details attached to it. If it is his summary, it will give you more of a personality data for all the employees, like labor account, what is his username, what is his email address, who is his manager, who is the manager assigned to him.
Sure.
Okay, and what home, like it's like a more of a personality kind of details, like what like where he's working, who is his manager, so on. So each genie has a different approach. So if it is a summary, it will give you the personality data, and then there is a another genie which is like approval genie, with which will give whose time card is approved and whose time card is not approved. If you see here, it will give you. So since it's the test and prompt, we will not be approving anyone's, right? But just for example, if this is the time period, previous pay period, we have selected all employees. So this is again another thing which you need to know. All the Kronos will have this particular item in this place of hyperfind all home. which will fetch you all the employees which is available in the system. Clear? This is a complete list. Like there are other items which will give you specific group or specific department or specific location employees that will be created or that will be available by default. But this is a mandatory one, all home, which will give you all the employees available in the system to this particular view. Clear?
Sure.
Yeah. So this, if you see, this will give you whether the my time card has been approved as blah blah blah. And there is another item which is sign off, which will give you one more additional details stating that whether it is just signed off. Like there are two level of approvals, Imad. If you remember in the first session I have shown you, one is
Yes.
approving the time card and one is signing off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this Genie has some additional details. This is where the payroll people will come in and see. Before running their payroll, they will come and see whether all the employees are signed off. They need not to go and check each one individually. They can come to this Genie and they can click here, sort by this column. It will give them the details. So since this is a test environment, we have not signed off. Only one people for testing purpose we have done it. But in a live environment, before that payroll cutoff time, if the payroll administrator comes and see here, he will see maybe one or two people who are not signed up. Others all will be signed up by their managers.
Right.
So instead of going each employee or running a report to see who is signed up and who is not signed up, this is the easiest way to check it out. So that's the purpose of Genie, to ease the use of access, how easily we can see a data or identify an issue based on this Genies. So Genies, there are different Genies, like there are different inbuilt Genies available, like sign off, there is approval summary. Again, this will give you a kind of more overview with manager approval, sign off, and also in this particular paper, does anyone has absence? Okay, and does anyone has like if you see this employee, he is having 5 days of absence, and whether that absence is excused or not. These extra details, Genies are basically it's kind of a data views. Each Genie will have different columns, and we can select a particular employee group or all employees based on this. Currently, we are going with all home to see all the employees, but there are different hyperfinds. We call this as hyperfinds. All home is a default hyperfind, which will fetch you the details of all the employees. Clear on this? What is Genie?
Right. How did you go to Genies from? How did you come up with the tab?
Just you need to click on the plus icon and click on Manage by Default.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So now today, since we have seen what Genie is about, you can go through the system and see what are the available Genies and what columns they give you. Sometimes one or two columns might be hidden. You can also enable that. Here, if you want to just few columns, like say an approval summary, I just need to see whether the time card is approved by manager, employee signed off, and unexcused absent and excused. I no need general exception. You can just take it out, it will go off. Okay. If there are some Genies, few columns might be by default hidden. If you want to enable it, you can enable it. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all about the Genies. How this is set up, we will go through while we are going through the setup after pay policies and approvals. I'll give you a quick overview how this is being processed. But right now, we'll see with respect to currently, as I told you, these are hyperfinds. We are going with all home and by selecting all the employees. I'll show you how we create these Genies. Like all home, there are different Genies like these employees, Department 404, Division 302, how we create it and how we add a condition to pick only specific employees. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah. So to create a hyperfind, it is very simple. You are in this page. It can be in any Genie. This or that, whatever it may be. The easiest way to create is you can come here, you can click on new, it will take you to creating a new hyperfind. So I'll again show you. You just need to come here, click on new. If you want, you can follow up with me, but give a different name in the query name. So there will be three types of visibilities. One is ad hoc, one is personal, and public. Ad hoc means it will come one time, and when you log off and come back and check it, this will not be available. This is just a one-time purpose. And personal means if you create it as a personal, it will be visible only to you when you log in. If you make it as public, whoever logs into this particular Kronos system, they will be able to see it.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's.
Do people use ad hoc? Why do they use ad hoc if it's just for one time?
They might have a weird condition to check only these people. In that condition, they need not to save it out. They will create it as an ad hoc.
Got it. Got it.
Just need to I just need to check how many people are assigned with this particular payroll and has these many absences. That is a one-time request. I need not have that because if I keep on creating hyperfinds and these things, each time I need a request, hyperfinds will maybe it will cross 200, 300 each time if I want to create it. So that purpose we use ad hoc.
Makes sense.
It's because the performance issues also, right?
Yeah, if you have too much in the system, again it will slow down. And so, like say, I'm creating on hyperfind, you are creating on hyperfind, both are of same use, and we are giving different names. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, such ad hoc, the data it might be saved in the kind of the reports or it's kind of.
No, ad hoc is like one time it will display you the results. Then once you refresh it, it will go off.
Okay, okay. If you want to view in the future for references and all, how
then you need to save it as a either as a personal or public hyperfind.
Okay, fine.
Okay, now let me show you how to filter in by certain condition. So now let me take a condition stating that I need employees in the system. There are we have only few labor levels. So let's say I need employees who work in Australia. Okay, if you see here, there are a number of employees, right? Here, belonging to Australia. You can see the second value. In labor account, the second value here corresponds to country. So it means that is region. I need to see how many employees here belong to Australia. Okay. So I'm going to create a hyperfind. Maybe you can create it as an ad hoc because I'm going to give a specific name to that. You cannot give a same name to hyperfinds. If you want, you can create it as a personal and you can see it. Okay. Right. Rather than public. Public means only one can be created with the same name. You can give some suffix and create with the same condition in a personal, so that for your purpose you can see it. So I'm going to give the hyperfind name as Australian employees. Okay, and the description, if I need to say something, I can say I'm going to give the same thing, and it's not mandatory also. You can maybe give some suffix to this so that you'll be able to create it. So first thing my condition is I need to see Australian employees and only who are active currently, not who are inactive or terminated as of. Okay. So what I will do first thing is I'll go to there is an option called whatever we saw in the people tab, right? That items will be available here, like the timekeeper, or name or ID, person dates, additional information, primary account, then the user information, accruals. These details will be available here. So the first thing I'm going to choose is the employment status. So for me, he include people whose status is active, not inactive or terminated as of today. So this is my condition. He should be active as of today. So my condition is clear. I'm going to just click on add so that the condition is added here. So employee is employed and working as of today.
Right.
Just need to click on add, so it will add you here. So the first condition is met. My second condition is his primary account second value should match region Australia. So by that only we are here segregating, because second region is region, second primary labor account value is region. That region should match Australia. So this is a total summary. I'm going to the region tab. Region. This will once you put asterisk and click on select, it will give you all the items available. In that, what I need is just Australia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just even you can if like in live environment there will be so many details. So in that place you can just click on some words and then select, so that it will give you only the items which you need. So I have clicked on Australia, then I need to click on drag to this side. Once you drag to this side, then you need to click on add, so that primary labor account matches star. Second value should be Australia. Other values can be anything. First and other values, first, second, like first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh values can be anything. But whoever is having the second value is Australia need to be pulled here. Okay, clear?
The conditions, right? Does it have to be in order, or it could be any order?
It can be in any order.
Okay.
I just give you like in a proper approach how we create it. It can be in any order.
Okay, sure.
Like why I'm giving this as a first means, if he is not working, whether he belongs to Australia or not, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yes.
So but even if you give this as first and this as second, it is not going to change your results. But for a better understanding, I'm taking it sequential.
Right. Sure.
Okay. And again, what I'm going to do is like these are the two conditions currently given. Okay. So once this is done, I need to see I have selected the condition. I have selected Australian employees. Done. I have given description. I have added both the condition. As soon as I have given name, only thing I need to do is click on save.
Okay.
So now we have a hyperfind here, which says Australian employees. Okay, and they have only people who belong to Australia as the second value in the label. So this is just not limited to this particular Genie. You can use this to review any of this Genie. Example, if you want to see approval summary, you can click on approval summary. By default, it will go to all home, but you can select Australian employees so that it will give you only the Australian employees. Clear?
Yeah.
It's a one-time creation and can be used across all the Genies. Also, this is very useful in the area. We can export these columns, whatever is available here, right? If you want as an Excel, not with this Genie, any Genie. If you want this as an Excel, you can export it. It is very easy, right? Let's say we are going to export not all the employees, just Australian employees. We need a report which gives us these details. What is his labor account? What is his name? What is his employee group? Whom he is assigned to? Blah blah. These details, if what we are seeing here, right? You want it as in a document format, it is easy. You need to just click on select all rows, click on share. Clear? I'm putting the Genie. I'm selecting the hyperfind which I want, which is Australian employee, and also the time period. If you need it, you can choose a time period. So that if you go to previous pay period, whoever was active on previous pay period will be available. If someone is terminated in the last week, they will not be available in current pay period. If you want them, you can go to previous pay period.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to the current pay period. I'm just selecting all, clicking on share, export to Excel or CV. I'm just exporting to Excel. So that whatever we see here will be pictured out as an Excel. Okay, currently Excel is not available here. So let me try to open it up with Chrome if possible. We need to ask them for Excel, Imad. In this particular, we are in the remote desktop, right?
Yeah. Like in ad hoc mode, right? So you said it's for one time. So is it like it would show the results, and after you sort of like
once you close it out, or once you change to a different Genie, it will go off.
That's it. Okay.
I don't see any application which can open this.
Yeah, it's not.
It's opening it as a PDF, so no issue.
Right.
No, let me see if there is any other application. Just ask them that you need this Excel to be available in the remote desktop so that we can use it to review the Excel file. Or else we'll be able to use only the PDF items. So let me see.
Yeah.
I'll just export to CSV so that we can at least open it up in Notepad. Okay. I'm just opening it as a Notepad. Okay. So this will give you the details of this is in CSV, man. It will not make any sense to you. But in Excel, it will give you the same view what we had here. Okay.
In a live scenario, these things happens like on a daily basis. Like you have to export.
No, it depends on the project.
Okay.
They will have some reports which will be needed, but in some cases where we need to do some kind of segregation and see who belongs to what and
Yeah.
some kind of, in that case you can export it. 1 second, give me 1 second. Yeah, so that is all about these Genies. So I'll just give you an activity today to present it tomorrow. Just you need to create a hyperfind, okay, with a condition. Let's remove this. A hyperfind should be the employee should be active. Okay. Employee should be active and employee should be active. What else I can give? And employee belongs to Adidas company and Australia region. Okay, so then okay. This hire date is before July 1st, 2022. Okay.
Okay.
So just note this down and do it like after our sessions, just work it out. And when we connect tomorrow, we can see the Genie, which I already have created. Okay. So the next item, 1 second. So next item which we are going to see is we are going to start with the setup. Okay. So let me go to the screen and I will start with the setup. So we have got a good overview of what Kronos is about, blah blah, and other items. So now let's start with setup. So setup, there are these many items, but like only there are few which is mandatory and which are crucial for landing in a Kronos job. So one among that, like two most item important is just pay policies and accruals, which are used by 99% of the Kronos users.
Okay.
So to start with accruals, you need to know pay policies. Pay policies is the basic one. So we'll start with the pay policies. In this particular Kronos module, whatever the items which we do, we need to start with a bottom-up approach. Okay. From the bottom, we will go to the top. Because whatever we do here, we will map it to the next session. Whatever we do here, we'll map it to the above session. We will create something here and then we'll map it to the above. Like this is a hierarchy here. Finally, this payroll is what we'll map to the employee's profile.
Okay.
Okay, so the bottommost item we need to go through here is the pay codes. Like you are aware what is the pay code is, right? Regular, overtime, vacation, sick, whatever the leaves or whatever the working hours we are going to voucher, or whatever we are swiping in and out is vouchered based on some pay codes. If you see here, we had let me take you through previous paper. Example, when an employee is piping in and out, it is capturing the totals as like these many hours of regular, these many hours of vacation, and these many hours of 41.5. So these all are captured even when he is swiping in and out, or when he is entering a pay code and hours, it's coming here, right? So for these, the basic step is first we need to have these pay codes created. Regular or vacation or OT 1.5. There are n number of pay codes which are already created. We will see today how we create a pay code.
Sure.
Okay. So first basic step to create a pay code, you can ignore all the other items here. The first step for the bottom two, that's not needed. First, this is definition is where we create a pay code. Under pay codes, we have definition. Pay code definition is where we create a new pay code. You can see whatever the pay codes available is already here.
Right.
So there are different types of pay codes available here. Okay. So to create a new pay code, you just need to click on new. And you need to give a name here. So already we have created a number of pay codes. So this time I will not save it, but I'll show you how I am creating it. Okay. The regular is again created by me. Like when I was taking another session. So similar to that regular, how I am creating the regular, I'm just showing it to you. Okay. So I'll give a name regular. Then short name is not needed. Then there is three different types: standard, duration, and cascading. So let me stick with the standard. Standard is the normal one, normal pay code. We just swipe in or swipe out, or we enter hours. That will be added to a time card. There is no like separate definition for it. It's the normal pay code. So it has three types under that. In standard, like for duration or cascading, we don't have any type. Okay, only for standard we have three types, and this is the type of pay code. Like if you take any project, 95% of the pay codes will be under standard and will be using any one of these. And even under the standard, most pay codes will be under hours. Money and days is very rare. Okay.
Sure.
I'll give you idea on what is money and days and why they're using it and why hours is used majorly. The reason. Okay. But right now, the regular and everything, the standard procedure to select the options is standard and hours. Okay. That means what it is a hour-based pay code. So that's the reason you can see in our time card, 8 hours of regular and 8 hours of overtime. These are available, right? The totals.
Right.
So for having this, because it's capturing it in hours, not in days or something. If you put 8, it means 8 hours because this pay code is mapped as standard and hours. Or else if you put days, it will calculate it as 8 days. So for that purpose, it should be hours, okay, when we create it. And then this is a procedure of creating standard pay code. Then we have multiplier and add. So add can be 0 for most of the hours pay code. I'll tell you what add is, but first let me stick to multiplier. Multiplier is what determines at what rate the employee is going to be paid. Regular, normally is going to pay at a standard rate. If I work 8 hours, I'm going to get 8 hours of payment. But if you take OT 1.5 or OT 2.0, it's a double time or 1.5 rate, right?
Right.
So in that case, if it is OT 1.5, we need to give it as 1.5. If we are going to create a double time pay code and we are going to pay him on a double rate for the hours he worked, we need to give it as 2.
Got it. Yeah, it's
So,
like time and a half or double.
yeah, that rate here is where we'll determine it. And
Even
can
in the
be,
US, it's all time and a half. Usually.
yeah, some companies are using double time and even 2.5 rate.
Yeah.
So that is the area like where we'll be using the like multiplier. And again,
Right.
let's what ad is used. This ad is mostly used for maybe shift allowance or on-call allowance, which is a standard.
Right.
Like I need not to put hours. I'll just put maybe like I'll just keep here as 2, so that if an employee goes in and select this pay code and add 1 to his amount, automatically 2 hours or $2 will be paid to him.
Yes.
So this we will not be using majorly. This is like this mostly will be 0 because we can achieve this this standardization using money also. Okay. So you're clear about this. These are the items only which you need to select standard analysis and just you can't save and return. Okay. So the pay codes which I need you to create right now is 2 items. Okay. OT 1.75 because OT 1.5 and other items are already there. And OT 3.0. Okay. Just create it out. I'll be back in another 5 minutes. Okay. I'll just.
Okay. So we can use the same same software.
Yeah, same the tool. You can use it, no issues, because I'm giving you which are the pay codes which are not available already in the system. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So we have seen standard and Haas and how multiplier rates are used.
Right.
So now let me take you through what is money.
Okay.
So money is an area where the ad will be in place. Okay. It's like the ad is not enabled, but it's like whatever the value we put in the amount will be paid. If you create a pay code with the name of like maybe on call, okay, on call and something that means if you put in this case, I have put maybe here vacation instead of that. If I'm putting on call and I'm selecting 8 here, then it means it will give me $8. Example, if it is a bonus, I'm going to select bonus is a kind of money pay code. I'm going to put 10. I'm going to select save. You can see automatically as soon as it's a money pay code, it will change it to dollars.
Right. You're just saying the rates or the whole amount.
Yeah, just to static dollar value.
Right.
Not the hourly wage. Okay. So that is about the money pay code. It's just used for the allowance purposes if needed.
Right.
Yeah. And the next item is days. Days, which we rarely use, but in some places like accruals or some other places, there they might use it as days. But we need to define again, if we create it as a days, we need to define when we are going to the accrual modules, we need to define how many hours for a day.
Yeah, like let's say 8 hours per day.
Yeah, 10 hours per day. Some people will be 10 hours. So we need to, we'll just give it as a specific here, but while we are creating the accruals, this is just with respect to pay policy module. This will not be of use, but when going to accrual, maybe we can explore to this days option if needed.
Okay.
Okay, this here we will use only hours and money. And the next item, the duration pay code will not be useful. But the cascading pay code and duration, I will teach you when we complete a particular payroll. We will go with the simple one first. Once we complete once we navigate from this to till this, once we completed a simple payroll, then we will start with exploring the complex part of this. What is the cascading payroll? What is duration code? And even these items, what are the complex items? So first, when we create a payroll, we will create a particular pay code. We will select basic items from this work rule building. Next item is work rule building block after we create a pay. Okay, so tomorrow's session is more of this work rule building blocks. This will take maybe 1 or 2 sessions also.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
there are so n number of items. But first, when we create a work rule, we will go with the basic items, that is overtimes and zones. And then we
Sure.
will go with the combination rule, and above is pay code distribution. These are mandatory. Okay,
Sure.
these two are hierarchy, man. From majorities to internal run rules, we can pick anyone and create at any time. But whatever we create here, then we need to map it to the combination rule, and the combination rule needs to be mapped to pay code distributions. These two has hierarchy. So tomorrow, our major work will be on this. We'll first create a SAM basic one, and then we'll create a work rule. Then we create a payroll just by mapping this work rule. We will not touch anything here. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Just create a work rule and see how it is working in the time. We'll assign it to a person and see how it is working. How it is like, you see this guy, it's calculating for him first 8 hours as regular and then 1.5 hours as overtime, right? How it is calculating that. So
Sure, sure.
we will have our own requirement, and then based upon that, we will create a payroll which matches that. So today, as a last part of our session, I'll first give a brief intro on what payroll we are going to create. So let me give a payroll name. Payroll name is Australian full-time FT. I'm going to give it as Australian FT. Okay.
Sure.
And my condition is so if an employee employee is about to work Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday are his week offs. Okay. So my condition is for Monday to Friday, just note down this requirement or have a screen capture once I complete it, or you can note down in a paper, pen or paper, something. Okay. So for Monday to Friday, if an employee works for first 6 hours, is regular. Okay.
Sure.
6 to 8 hours is OT 1.5. Okay, above 8 is OT 2.0. Okay, clear on this?
Yes.
This is the payroll which we are going to create Monday to Friday. For 6 hours is regular, 6 to 8 is OT 1.5, above 8 is OT 2.0. Okay, and again, let me come to the Saturday. Saturday, first 3 hours is regular. 3 to 8 hours is OT 1.5.
Sure.
Okay. Above 8 hours is, okay, I'll just change it as 3 to be meaningful. 81.5. Above 6 hours is OT 2.0. Okay. 3 to 6 hours will be OT 1.1. Above is. And let me come to Sunday. Sunday, we will create it in a way that all the hours what are OT 2.0. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is the configuration which we are going to create. So first, we will start with this particular item. Okay. Then we'll try to configure. Let's keep this as a in hold. Okay. Let me keep this on hold. Once we create a payroll, then we can add this condition later. So first, let's keep both Saturday and Sunday have same condition. Both the weekends have same condition. Okay.
Sure.
So we'll start with a simple one. Then after this, once we successfully complete this, we will add this condition and also few more other conditions. Like we have n number of items here. This work rule building blocks. We will make sure that we include everything. What is considered rule? What is guarantee? What is exception? Chorus is not needed, but breaks, bonuses. Okay. Everything will include, and at that time I'll just include the same in the requirement. Right now, if I include it, will confuse you. Let's stick with these two lines. This is the requirement which you are going to achieve. This is how the lifetime request will come to you. This is how we are creating configurations in Kronos.